Now here we have the, I believe it's the Battle of the Trident. It's Robert Baratheon, who is the king who at the beginning of Game of Thrones, and he's fighting Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, who is Daenerys' brother, and he's also the heir to the throne of the Mad King Aerys, who was shortly after this killed by Jaime Lannister. I got that right?
That's right.
Okay.
This is one of the key scenes in A Song of Ice and Fire that occurs, before the books open. But it sets the stage and everything that follows. Let's see, this is Justin Sweet, right? The painting?
Yes.
Yes, Justin. Incredible artist, Justin Sweet. He's done some magnificent work for us. We've had several great artists do the Battle of the Trident scene. What I like about Justin's version particularly is that he actually included the horses, because the two of them did fight on horseback, but most of the other artists who have illustrated the scene for one reason or another have omitted the horses and have just shown the two men on foot. In that sense, they're quite a lot like the TV show, which omits the horses at many opportunities. So where the TV show is short on horses. But we have horses here, and that's good. So the two of them were fighting in the middle of the Trident, the ford of the Trident, and it was a whole turning point where everything that occurs in the books was set up by this fight between two men.
It's great to see them at this point looking, in the prime of their lives and so heroic, because by the time we jump into the narrative of Game of Thrones, Robert is kind of over the hill. This makes you see why he was, why people thought so highly of him to begin with.
Yeah, Robert was like me when I began this. My hair was dark, I was skinnier, I was different in 91. Hey.
It's also, Rhaegar has kidnapped Robert's betrothed and Ned's sister, but it's really the culmination of a lot of forces. I mean, this is a big personal confrontation, but it's also kind of a big, kind of socio-political confrontation. The Targaryens, King Aerys was crazy, and their sort of line seemed to be kind of decaying.
Well, one of the factors here is, of course, that 300 years ago in Aegon's conquest, the Targaryens conquered the Seven Kingdoms with dragons. But then, during the later civil war called the Dance with the Dragons, the majority of those dragons were killed. And the few that survived that war died a relatively short time later, or else left the known lands of Westeros. So by that point, the Targaryens were firmly established as the kings and had, the power of tradition and legitimacy behind them. Generations had come up of age with the idea of the Targaryens were the king, and that the rules didn't apply to them. I mean, that was also part of it. Targaryens were interlopers from another culture, and they had some unique factors that didn't necessarily fit into the mainstream of the other Westerosi lords, such as their traditional incest, which was part of keeping the bloodlines pure so that they could better control the dragons, brother marrying sister, and nephews and aunts and so forth, and all of that is detailed in the book, all of the matches and so forth. But by the time this comes around, the Targaryens have not had dragons for a long time, and I guess Robert and some of the other lords are starting to say, we don't really have to be that afraid of these guys anymore. They can no longer, just fly overhead and burn down our castles or entire cities. And it's beginning to, this is beginning to dawn into it that maybe the Targaryens are just people like other people, and not an outside alien force with strange, scaly superpowers. Of course, then Dany, well, you know. So that's what the books are all about.